of music. Where did you start your music? Where did you both start singing? Because your ranges are just phenomenal and holy moly. And did you grow up with that?
Not really. No. We, in high school, we did choir, but our senior year of high school was a joke. I mean, we should have graduated in junior. We're one of those kids that did our work. And when you do that, they still want you in there because the school gets money for kids being there. We're in public school. So basically it was just like, oh, I'll be a TA for this teacher, or let's go take choir or drama or something like that, which was fun, I suppose. So we did like choir, but we weren't taken seriously or anything. I suppose we just absorbed some of that. Well, I did a musical in high school. No, 2 musicals. And that kind of, wasn't very great, but I did a musical with like Sam had a seat in Business About Very Trying. He was the lead. So I was like, oh wow, he's so cool. Samuel Lucas, Coppola Finch, it's great. And I was like, I don't know, Bert Bratt, I don't know, the boss character. And then
wasn't your song cut too?
No, it was. Oh yeah, one of them was. But the one song that I have, which is a secretary is not a tool. Yeah, it's too sexist for high school. Anyways, what else? Then you kind of joined the drama. Yeah, I did it the summer after I did it for like my junior year. Did a couple plays. I always got cast as the son. I was the father. I was the son. And then it was between Les Mis and Pirates of Penzance, and I was like, Pirates of Penzance, it'll be so much cooler than Les Mis. And I was like, Pirates of Penzance, yes. And then Pirates of Penzance won out, and I was like, I'm gonna get the Pirate King. I'm gonna get the Pirate King. I was like, I'm gonna get the Pirate King. I'm gonna get the Pirate King. And I got the lead instead, and I didn't get the Pirate King. I don't want to be the lead. I got to be the boyish, lead in tight pants and, oh gosh. Welcome to the Steam Power Draft panel where we complain about our childhood. See, I'm a character actor. I wanted to be the freaking Pirate King. It was a lot of fun. I don't know, you had a lot of lines to memorize? Yeah, but you were funny. You were like...
I was Danny Zuko once.
How is Scientology working out for you? Flying that airplane. No comment. Sandy! I can't do it, but you know what it sounds like. Yeah, so in college I took voice classes. I was majoring in musical theater. I did all that crap for like 3 years in college. So I guess I took that in Steam Power Draft too. Our dad gave us some old instruments that he bought from a friend or something. Yeah, my dad kind of played guitar, and Sam and Luke, because I became friends with him at that musical. And then he kind of taught me guitar, pretty much. So I kind of just went with that, and yep, Samuel Hatchworth taught the Spine how to play guitar. Basically. And who would have thought that we, somewhere down the future we would cross paths. Next question.
Would you ever be interested in releasing like bass tabs or guitar chords? Because me and my music teacher have been teaching for 40 years. We can't figure out your music.
Well, you're in luck then, because we have a program called the Engineer a Tier program. Tell them what it's all about. Well, for the low price of $2 a month, you can actually sign up and you can get all the guitar chords that you can eat. From over all of album 1, excluding John's songs, and half of album 2, and no MK3 so far. But you need bass tabs. Bass tabs. For what songs?
All of them?
Oh boy. That would be, some of the stuff on album 1 and 2 is very intricate because Mike is a crazy instrumentalist, and when we did live shows, we toned it down because it sounded too complicated for echoey stuff. You need like simple stuff, so that would be really hard to transpose. But Sam has been playing bass for us for a long time, and he likes some of the stuff, so he keeps it in there while simplifying it for the live stuff. And he thinks it's so fun to play because Mike is just a beast on bass and guitar, all that kind of stuff. So I wish we could. Mike never had time either to chart that, even though it was Mike used to have some videos up for bass on a few songs. I don't know if he still has it on his YouTube, but you might want to check. Michael Philip Reed. We're on, what is it, Rock Band? You can download, oh yeah, Electricity and play the bass. If you have an Xbox, you can. It's actually the one with all 4 robots, and it has it's not the real bass thing, where you gotta hear all the notes separately. That's not gonna help you. But no, so we have some guitar chords, which also help with piano for maybe about less than half of our repertoire. So we'll get on that eventually. It's not, the demand hasn't been super high for it, so. Maybe. Next question.
Where did you draw your inspiration from, like your clothing and your makeup and everything?
Our inspiration? Well, you have definitely a solid inspiration from childhood, right? Why? Tim Burton. Well, yeah, I think Tim Burton, visual standpoint, was just so unique back in the day. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of stuff that was imitating the German, what is it, expressionism. So that was really, had an impact on me. Definitely for the act, I mean, the makeup and stuff is inspired by clown, pantomime, a lot of the costumes too. My high pants were based on, they were based on one of the performers in Scissor Sisters, but they also drew inspiration from, what's his name? Marcel Marceau, and his character Bip. So, yeah, some classic inspiration, a little bit of Tim Burton stuff thrown in. Yeah, when we came up with this stuff back in Bobo Park, it was not, as detailed as it was back then, because we were just getting whatever clothes we could at thrift stores. Now we actually have, custom-made costumes. But back then it was like whatever we had. And I always liked fedoras, because I was like a fan of the Blues Brothers a lot when I was a kid. And you play this video game on the Super Nintendo called The Untouchables. And you were like, no, that game's the bomb. I'm gonna base my look on these characters from this video game. That was it. Yeah, on my Instagram, someone came up to me and told me something about The Untouchables. I'm like, wait, you mean the video game based on the movie, based on the book, based on real life, Elliot Ness? And I'm like, okay. Weird specific reference, so you don't know that this is actually a real thing. Video game, whatever. Anyways, yeah, fedoras and all that stuff. If you look at Old Spine, he has like a really regular fedora. And as I was able to get custom stuff, I got custom fedoras made that are way too big and look almost cartoonish, which was the idea, to make us look like characters rather than like people. I think a good, we try to make it look like the characters came out of the comic instead of the other way around, if that makes sense. So it looks like we could be turned into an animated series. So, I've lost a headpiece, for instance, because, man, it was cool, and I was onto something really cool, but with these guys, they're too simple now. They started getting more minimalist. I mean, maybe you've gotten a little more... I was the opposite. I started simple and then slowly... But it's almost like the aspects of your costume emphasize the simplicity. It does. There's no, all this detail in here is all just stitching and stuff, it's not drawing attention to the detail. It just makes it look a little more, I don't know what it is. It makes it look like it's not store-bought. So it makes it look like it would have these lines. Oh yeah. And the back, which you don't see, everything can be complicated back there because no one can really see it. Inspiration, yeah. Next week, makeup, costumes, it all kind of falls together. Next question. Yes.
Okay, I have a two-part question. First part is, how does it feel to be role models and inspiration for young performing artists all over the world? And the second part is, where do you see Steam Powered Giraffe in the next 5 years?
Well, it definitely feels really good. When you are an artist and you're trying to figure out what you're going to do with yourself, it doesn't matter how you make your money, because you have to do the art. It's not a choice. So that we're able to do this, is very enriching, because we're not really good at anything else. I mean, I guess we've learned some business skills over the years that have made us pretty good business people. Like, we're pretty smart about handling the money and stuff, because we've had experience. But, it's great that we can serve as a kind of a representation of that it's possible to be an artist and not be like super rich or a celebrity per se. You know, we're not like that big, and we're still making money. You know, some other references like our mime instructor. He wasn't famous, but he made money and he's really happy and he gets to do what he loves. So I mean, there are opportunities out there for artists. Whether you're visual, you know, performing, musician, you got to do it either way. How you make your money. It helps if you don't have a family and you don't have money commitments, because then you can live meagerly. When you have commitments and stuff, you know, sometimes your dreams will take a different path. They'll become your hobbies, which everyone starts out as. You know, whatever you really are good at, you just do as a hobby, and you make a living the other way. That's just how most people are, and that's how we were too. I mean, we were just, you know, we kind of were at, you know, I wouldn't say rock bottom, but we didn't have any money. We were on unemployment. We're like, well, let's try making Steam-Powered Giraffe as big as we can, because, you know, the lesson that everyone tells you, I guess, over and over again is, you know, you only live once, you know, how you know unless you try. It's all true. I mean, the only people who fail are the ones who give up. And, because, I mean, if you have perseverance, I mean, even if it takes you your whole life, at least maybe 1 year will be good, right? And that might be worth it, so, I mean, eventually you get kind of in a rut, and you're like, I don't want to do this the rest of my life. And whether that takes 30 years to realize that, or 5, you know, as soon as you can kind of come to terms with what you want, you just kind of do that. And that's not just with the group, that's with everything in life. I mean, if you want to dye your dreads multicolours, you do it. But if you want to, you know, follow whatever you're feeling that you would feel more comfortable.
You want to be a girl.
Yeah, there you go. Do that as well. Because, you know, here's what everyone else would say. You know, when it comes to, as far as business and stuff, in 5 years, man, I have no idea. I mean, we're setting ourselves up for success. Because, you know, we see a lot of other artists, and we have a lot of friends with, you know, people that we perform with. But the one thing that sticks out to us the most is that, you know, we do everything ourselves. Like, there's no manager above us. You know, we're business people first and artists second. Even though we're really artists, it's because we want it so bad that we are willing to put in the long hours doing all the business stuff, and it works. I mean, I don't know who else will do that. I mean, we try to. I mean, even Steve knows that. His job is pretty much all business, with talking to conventions and technical stuff. Realistically, we've talked about this. Like, we didn't really know what we were going to be able to do. You know, we had all these aspirations, like, oh, we're going to be in our own CG movie. What's going to happen? You know, is Michael Bay going to direct it? It seems like out there ideas, but we're kind of just aiming like, oh, okay, just make it like it's going to be big. And now it seems like realistically in the next 5 years, I think a cartoon is probably the way to go. It makes sense that we're family appropriate. You know, something similar to Adventure Time or something. It's wacky, it's weird, kind of surreal, and I could see us doing that. You know, we may be working on stuff like that, maybe, to prepare, but it just seems like the right direction. Yeah, I mean, when we were younger, we, you know, you kind of always, you only know, like, oh, there's going to be a guy with a briefcase, you're going to see it, and all your dreams are going to come true. But as we've been going down the road, it's like, no, you just have to do it yourself. And we have all the skills to do that. I mean, the art, graphic design, I mean, me with the technical stuff, the website, and the code and all that. I mean, even the recording and stuff. I mean, we can do it all ourselves, so we don't really have to rely on anyone other than, you know, supporting the fan base, and that's, I guess, maybe that's where our leg up is. And I think, you know, even with the cartoon where that might have seemed like, well, who's going to approach us? And it's like, well, we wouldn't approach it. We would make the pilot ourselves, and, you know, with concept art or something, and we would shop that around to all the animation studios. Like, it's all realistic to us now, because we've done a lot of stuff ourselves. I mean, we made a DVD, and that was a lot of work, our first one, and then it stopped selling, and then we kind of like, well, yeah, we should not put so much work in. I like the cartoon. The cartoon's cool. I think my biggest dream would be like, if we could get like an animated CGI movie, it'd be really sweet, because you can do a lot with that. You can do all the cool visuals that might look cool live action, but no one's gonna make a live action. Nobody's gonna spend that amount of money, so like a CG cartoon would be really, really sweet. Or, you know, like a two-dimensional TV show type thing. That'd be cool. Yeah. Plus, I mean, most of it is just going to be the bits. I mean, if you look at our DVD or some of our other their YouTube videos. You can kind of see the humor there. All of that's written by Bunny and I. I mean,
Well, Sam
Sam has